Okay, this video is on how to do data entry for the daily logs. These entries are done at the end of each shift. Even if you're doing a double, you're going to do an entry at the end of each shift. So you got morning, evening, and overnight. You're going to stay in the training residential program. You would pick the program that you're in. You go under services, individual, scroll down. You're going to go here under forms. You see there's a line, 2 lines here, indicating that there's other forms or other items embedded in here. I'm going to go ahead and click that. And once I click there, you're going to see a list of items here, a list of different forms that have been created in your residential program that you're going to be in. You're not going to see as long as a list, but because we're in the fake program, every single form that has been created and is here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hit daily log documentation. Once I click that, then I get to pick the resident in which I work with. We're just going to go in order. I'm going to hit continue. There have been no entries made, so I'm at the end of my shift. I'm ready to write this entry, create new daily log. So as you'll see here, I can't click and enter any data. I have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and I have to hit update. Now that I'm in data entry mode, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to document the date. Today is the 28th. If I was working the overnight shift, and it's the morning of the 28th, then I want to make sure that I enter the day before. Okay, and that's for overnight shifts, the day before. And the reason why that is because you're describing the entire shift, and the shift started the previous day. So I'm just going to do a morning shift. Okay, I'm going to select the time. I'm going to select if a body skin check was completed. You'll notice it says yes or not applicable. Not applicable means that you were not able to actually complete a body skin check, either because one, the resident does not require assistance with hygiene, so you wouldn't be in the bathroom with them assisting them, and therefore you would not complete a body skin check. The other reason why it would be not applicable is if during your shift you did not assist the resident with hygiene. So if you did not assist them with hygiene, then you are unable to complete a body skin check there, okay? In opposite of this, if there is a resident that is independent, does not need a body skin check, but you did one because you noticed that there was a marking, maybe on the shoulder, maybe on the neck, and it made you inquire more and ask the resident if you have permission to check them to make sure that there's no other markings. They gave you permission, and therefore you completed a body skin check. You're going to select yes, but you're going to make sure that you indicate in the note section that why you completed it. And when I say note section, that would be under other, and I'll go over that a little bit later. But for today, I'm going to put yes. Then this becomes required if I answer yes. If yes, did you have any findings? Did you notice anything like markings? Yes or no? I'm going to go ahead and put yes again to give us an example. If you see something, a marking, even if it's been noted before, a previous staff person wrote in the critical log that they found a mark on somebody's shoulder or somebody's arm or leg or toe, finger, whatever it is, but you haven't seen it, and they're documenting it. When you do your body skin check, you're going to document everything you've noticed, even if it's already been reported. You also want to continue to document while that marking is present. So if someone has a black and blue on their shoulder, Every single day that you see that black and blue on that shoulder, you're going to indicate that you still see that mark. It's really important that that data is entered. So it's not just, oh, you entered it once and now you're good. Anytime you see a body scan marking, whether you've already noted it or not, you are indicating it here. Okay. To the right of here, you'll see that I have created a list for you to follow. When describing the marking, please indicate the following. You want to indicate the body part, incident, the indicated left or right side. You want to describe the appearance. You want to describe the size. It's important to note that these are just examples. We're not copying and pasting any of this. So I'm going to put, yes, I found something. Now, if you found marking, please describe. So indicate the body part, arm, leg, back, foot, hand, head, neck, etc. Indicate left or right side. On the lower left shoulder blade, back area. So we know that now I know it's the lower left shoulder blade. So I'm looking at the shoulder blade, and I should be seeing something towards the bottom of that shoulder blade. It's the back area, to further confirm that I mean the back, not the front. And I'm indicating it's the lower part. So if I start seeing something on the upper part of the shoulder, I know that either it's been an additional body skin mark or that it's progressed. But for today, on the lower left shoulder blade, back area, okay, now I need to describe the appearance. Black and blue bruise. Black and blue bruise. And describe the size. About the size of a quarter. So again, I pulled this out so I can see it. Anytime you see little lines like this, you can pull it out. So again, I've indicated the body part, shoulder blade. I've also went a step further and said the back area. I indicated left or right side. I indicated the appearance. And I also gave an approximate size. So now I'm done. Now we're going to go on to the shift description. Here you just choose all that apply. Medication administration, prepared meals, had breakfast. So again, I'm doing the morning shift. And let's say during the overnights did not do the medications because I came in at 8 a.m. and I'm doing the medication. Now, if the overnights already gave meds, I'm not writing meds again. So you're going to verify if meds were already administered. If they were administered and documented, not on your shift, then you do not indicate this. If you did administer medication at any point of that shift, maybe midday meds, maybe afternoon meds, then you're going to indicate this. So I'm going to say I gave out medications. Did the resident help prepare meals? Well, let's say they did. They had breakfast, they had lunch, and they had a snack. Because again, I have an 8 to 4 shift. They wouldn't have dinner yet. Attended a medical appointment. Did I help assist with a medical appointment? Yes or no? Did they work on household chores? I'm going to say yes. They cleaned the dining room table, and that's one of their chores. Not an IHP goal, just a house chore. Did they have a shower? Did they floss their teeth? Did they brush their teeth? Did they have dental care? Obviously, dental care is only going to be for those individuals who actually have dentures, right? So let's say the morning they had a shower, they flossed their teeth, they brushed their teeth. Let's say that they also worked on goals, because again, I'm working 8 to 4. Okay? So they worked on their goals. I'm not sure if there was a house meeting, but if you had a house meeting, you're going to document participate in house meeting. If you had a fire drill, participated in fire drill. Went to day program. Some of our individuals work on weekends, so that's where this would apply. I'm sorry, I apologize. No, went to day program means Monday through Friday, that the morning shift or the overnight shift that they would have gone to day program. Came home from day program, so however they came home. If they were hospitalized, this is what I meant by at work or program. Some of our individuals work on weekends, and if they're away for a Saturday or a Sunday because of work, then that's where this applies. Away or other. Now, other, this is where I would select other, and this is where I can write and indicate a little bit more information. If body skin check was completed, yes, but this person does not require assistance in hygiene. This is where I can write here, the resident. Well, I wouldn't necessarily write the resident, right? We would say the person. So this is the resident. So I would put, this does not need assistance with bathing, but I noticed she was experiencing pain in her shoulder, and I asked if I could check her upper body. This is why I completed the body skin check. Okay? Now here's a new field. What activity did the resident participate in? Now you might ask yourself in this section, well, if it's an overnight shift, what do you mean participate in activities? If you had any kind of conversation, interact with the resident in any way, they participated in activities. But here's a list for you. Attended a religious service, discussed things with others, played board games, read a book, watched a movie, went to the bank, went shopping, went out to eat, went to the library, went for a walk, went out with friends or family, so someone came and picked them up, went to see a play, and again, I have other, and I can indicate other here. Discussed the weather forecast for the day. Should you ask the resident if they had their menstrual? Again, this is something that is not pertaining to all houses, right? There are some things that are only pertaining to some individuals. Obviously, this is for female residents. Yes or NA. Yes would mean that you asked. NA would mean it's not applicable. Here's a reminder. If you answered yes to the question on asking for this information, you need to complete the special charting. Here are some other examples of special charting. Bowel movement chart, monthly or daily log, daily weight chart, 2400 fluid restriction chart, hearing aid chart, behavioral ABC chart. Here's an indication here. If you are unsure as to whether or not a resident has a special chart, you need to ask management. Don't assume. If you are unaware, ask your manager or your assistant manager. The answer is here, yes or not applicable. If it's the first of the month, the very first of the month, let's say it's not March 28th, it's March 1st, I should be doing the monthly weight if I'm doing an overnight. Only if I'm doing overnight. And in that case, I'm saying yes, it's special charting because I'm supposed to chart the monthly weight. So here I'm just going to put not applicable. PRN medication administered. Yes or no? Did you give a PRN? I'm going to say no. But if I did, right here is a reminder of how that documentation is supposed to be. If you give a PRN, you must indicate on the front and the back of the MAR and document it in the critical log. So this is a nice, friendly little reminder to you all. Did an incident occur for this resident during the shift? Yes or no? I'm going to go ahead and put no. If I put yes, all incidents are to be documented in the incident module. Direct support staff are required to document all incidents in this awards program. So we want first-hand accounts of what's happening. You also need to enter a note in the critical logbook, and management needs to be notified. If you indicate that an incident occurred during that shift, but you didn't complete an incident report, you're going to be asked to come back to the program and complete it. So just be aware of that. It is critical that it is documented. Visitor, yes or no. I'm going to go ahead and put yes. No, actually, yes. I'm going to keep it as yes because I want to complete this. Who visited? Now, when we're talking about who visited, it's not if this is a test resident, her mom came to visit. Her mom came to visit only her, not everybody in that group home. So everybody in that group home doesn't indicate a test, this is a test game, meaning this is a test mother. What you're going to do is you're going to only indicate it for that resident. So I'm going to put Mrs. a test, and I'm going to put mom. I'm not just going to put mom. I'm going to write her name as I know it. Staff completing the form. You're going to put your name here, but please be mindful. Full names, no initials. There are several people in the system who have the same exact initials. There are at no time are initials acceptable. First letter of both your first and your last name is to be capitalized. Look at the example. If I were to fill it out like this, I would be doing this in error. If I just did this and just put my first name and nothing else, this would be an error. If I did this, just my last name, this would be an error. My full name needs to be in here, which is what I did. And both first letter of my first and last name have been capitalized. Now at this point, I can save this document. And now it's done. One thing I need to indicate here, you will notice here that you will only see what you've selected. In reading this, if you see that the shift description is very short, really think about your shift. Really think about it, and really think about everything you did between 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., giving this example. If you have one item here, you really need to review this list again. Because again, you're describing an entire shift. So it's very important that there's documentation there. Also, the activities with the resident. Make sure that this has at least one item. You actually can't save this form without at least one item. But make sure you review this too. The rest of this information here, you'll see it's only what I've entered. In reviewing this, if you see there's something wrong, I want you to do your own audit. I want you to self-audit. After you've completed it, I want you to look and self-audit your work. You're submitting this in, and you're saying that this documentation is good under your standards. So under your standard, your own expectations for your own work, you're saying this is good enough documentation. So be sure that you review it and you look at it and you don't just move on to the next one very quickly. Again, you are stamping this as the body of work you're producing. One thing I did not note here, going back into data entry, Had I attended a medical appointment, this section becomes required. If I select attended, I have to fill something out here. If I don't select something here, I can still fill something out here that may be important. So let's say the resident went on a medical appointment and the medication was delayed. Now again, my shift is 8 to 4, but let's say they went on a medical appointment last night. The pharmacy couldn't drop off the medication last night. They said they were going to drop it off first thing the next morning. Now I did not take this individual to a doctor appointment. I've just been told the medication could be dropped off anytime after 8 a.m. Guess what? That's my shift. So I can actually indicate here. Medications were filled during shift, meaning they arrived or I picked them up. So let's say that happened. I'm going to indicate in the critical logbook that the medication arrived. I'm going to document that. So I'm going to select that too. I'm going to make sure that the new medication was added to the MAR, if not already. And I'm going to indicate whether or not that medication was administered. And let's say it was. I now resave this, and that information now will be included. Again, review your information, and then you can move on to the next individual.